Hi there. This is Christine Hart. Welcome to Saturday afternoon live. I'm coming in from London. It's very hot here. It's 30 degrees. It's really a little bit unbearable. I know we shouldn't moan, but it always seems to be either cold or really, really hot. Welcome to my show, Brian Barrett, the magician and author of several books on the jinn. We are going to talk today about the gods, including Shiva, including the Greek pantheon. And welcome, Brian. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you, Chris. Nice to be back again.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So,
How are you?
yes, would you? Yes, very hot. Very hot, very, very, very hot. I need ice lollies. I need ice
Good.
lollies intravenously. Gosh. So, do you want to go ahead? And I'm totally ignorant, really, when it comes to Shiva. I do enjoy Shiva. I do shamanically journey into the caves of Shiva, the lower world, and I love Shiva. He's like blue and fascinating. And would you say that he's an alien?
Well, depends how you view the Indian gods. There are many people who believe that they are based on alien life forms. If you go to India, many of the temples are allegedly based on the Vanama, yeah, the
Mm.
mythical flying vehicles. So, I mean, it's where you place your belief system. I mean, there's ancient pictures of Ganesh, not ancient sculptures, and it looks like Ganesh is a pilot. Yeah, not
Mhm.
necessarily an elephant, because his trunk goes into some kind of container, which is very reminiscent of fighter pilots and their breathing equipment. So yeah, it really depends what your stance is. I mean the whole thing about the Christian, about the Indian pantheon and the Greek pantheon is, a lot of people don't really understand what is the Greek pantheon and what is the Indian pantheon. And the 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 surprising thing is, and it really is a surprising thing, is that although the Greeks are like thousands of miles away from India, in the early days of the Greek civilization, they had three Greek kings. Okay, so like they were ruled by the Greek. So who influenced who is a really interesting question, because you know did the Greeks bring their gods to the Indians, or was it vice versa? I believe it was pretty much vice versa, really. I think the Greeks took over India. Remember, they did this for something like maybe 150, 200 years, and from that, I believe they brought back their idea of the Indian gods, and they turned them into sort of Greek gods, if you like, or they let them influence the Greek gods. So I mean, people just don't know about the Indian Greece connections, and literally they're connected for like thousands and thousands of years, the Greek and the Indians. So it's like with the a lot of people will say that Shiva and Zeus are in fact the same entity. Well, not really. It's very complicated. It's a very, very complicated linear, because if you look at Shiva, a monk in meditation asks Shiva, "Who is your father?" And Shiva said, Lord Vishnu is my father. Then who is your grandfather? And he says that Brahma is my grandfather. Then the monk asked him, who is your forefather? And Shiva said, I'm your forefather. Yeah. So it's like, it's like Shiva is nothing, but he is everything. So it's very difficult to get your head around that. Also, Shiva is masculine as well as feminine. I don't know if you know that.
No.
Yeah, he's masculine as well as feminine, which is really quite interesting, because his other avatar is, of course, Shakti. Yeah.
Right.
So Shiva and Shakti are in fact the same being. You know. As for Zeus, Zeus is derived from the Hindu sky god Deus. So that's really interesting, because a lot of people think that Zeus is actually Shiva, but no, he's not. He's more like the Hindu god Deus, which is quite interesting. So. I mean, but like I said, the whole Greek pantheon. If you look at the connection between Greek and India, I think definitely India influenced Greek them more than the other way round, so to speak. Yeah, definitely. And then of course you've got the other connection, which is the Jesus connection, and the interesting thing with that, of course, is that Dionysus, the Greek god of wine, is connected with Jesus Christ. And you think, well, how can that be? Yeah, but if you look at if you examine Jesus Christ and you examine Dionysus, yeah, both Jesus and Dionysus are connected by wine. Yeah. Okay. Right. Which is quite interesting. And both gods bring joy. Dionysus also brought joy. Yeah. Okay. The interesting thing with Dionysus is his followers would engage in wild exotic rituals called bacchanalia. Unfortunately, it was always around drink. Yeah. Okay. But then if you look at the tradition of Jesus, he's depicted as turning water into wine in the wedding at Cana. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing as well is Dionysus is associated with the concept of rebirth and resurrection, which of course is the same for Jesus as well. Jesus is connected very heavily with birth and rebirth. So there are certain overlaps between Dionysus and Jesus, and the other thing as well is Dionysus and Jesus both challenge the social norms of their times, the hierarchies. They were both seen as God as liberations, yeah, and in both stories they often challenge the established order. So you read about this in the Bible about Jesus challenging the religious and political authorities of the time. He advocated love and compassion and equality, which is exactly the same thing that Dionysus used to practice. So yeah, there are massive parallels between the two deities. But it doesn't stop there. It really doesn't stop there, because the Anchor Bibles, the under Rome, were first translated into Greek. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you think that the Greeks did a direct translation, then you've probably got a surprise coming to you, because essentially what they did was they incorporated their myths into the Bible. And you say, no, that's impossible. But who is Samson? Yeah. Have you ever asked yourself that question? Who is Samson? Who is he? You know, Samson and Delilah?
Yep. No, don't know.
Okay, well, Samson was betrayed by a woman, and the woman cut his hair and he lost his strength. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And Samson was purportedly the strongest man in the world. So was Hercules or Heraclitus. Yeah. Heraclitus killed his family, yeah, in a drunken rage. But essentially they are the same, they are more or less the same being, if you like. Yeah. So the other parallel, of course, is Hades. Yeah. Okay. You know, like where did hell come from? Well, hell definitely came from Hades. Yeah. You know, sort of like in the Jewish religion, there is no hell, and people forget that Jesus was, was Jewish. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus was never a Christian. Okay. Jesus was always Jewish, so there would be no hell. So where did the hell come from? Well, the hell came from the Greek translators who put in Hades as the hell. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, there's a really interesting twist as well. Who is Phasoni? Have you any idea who is Phasoni? Well, Phasoni.
I thought it wasn't Persephone.
Yeah, Persephone, Persephone, whatever. Persephone.
Okay.
Who is Persephone? Who is Persephone?
I don't know.
Well, she was captured and brought into the underworld. Yeah. Okay. And she was almost rescued. However, there was a trade done where she can spend 6 months in the underground and then 6 months on the overground. But who is Phasoni? Yeah. Well, she's God. She's God.
Is she?
If you think about it, who else can she be?
Well,
if everything stops growing when they put her in the prison of Hades, but then everything comes to life again when she comes out, the only person she can be is God. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. So what does that mean then?
What does that mean? Well, it means that essentially our idea of what Christianity is and our idea of the divine feminine is very twisted. Yeah. Okay. Because Christians are always promoted as Jesus as being the divine. Yeah. However, within the Greek pantheon, she is the divine. Yeah. Okay. So that's a very interesting twist. But like I said, the Greek version of Jesus is really who is, he is Dionysus in reality. When you read about him, he fits the profile of Dionysus. And in the Roman religion, which is pretty identical to the Greek religion, he's Apollo. Yeah. So it's quite interesting. But yeah, the whole Greek god thing is absolutely fascinating. I mean, sort of the whole pantheon is really, yeah. When you see its influence and how many different influences it's had. For example, if we look at the Slavic witchcraft, for example, Perun is Zeus, virtually Zeus. Yeah. which is
Yeah.
you know, so you know,
Who was
the
Zeus? Sorry, who is
Perun,
Zeus?
Perun
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
in the Slavic pantheon, Perun is Zeus. So yeah, there are many other parallels, but unfortunately, with the advent of communism, quite a lot of the information concerning the Greek pantheon and the Slavic witchcraft has been lost. You know, it was all destroyed. Yeah. Okay. So you know, but like the, you know, for example, you've heard of the Roman god Mercury. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have.
And then of course he turns up in the Greek mythology, which is quite interesting. And of course, he is of course what we understand as the Holy Spirit. You know, he's the
All right.
messenger of the gods. You know, he's the messenger of the gods, which is quite
Yes.
interesting. You know, so you know, it's a lot more. It's a lot more influential, and it's a lot more, should we say, hidden in plain sight than you would imagine. You know, say for example, Kronos, where we get the name chronological from. He is the father of Zeus. However, you know, he's not a nice god. You know, he ate his children, which is quite interesting. Yeah, of which once again Zeus was taken off, and Zeus was allowed to grow older, and he splits his father's stomach open, and that's really the start of the pantheon. Yeah. Okay. You know, and of course, if you go to London, which I've done many times, Piccadilly Circus, the most famous of all the Greek gods, Eros. Did you not know that?
Yes, I think I did. Yes.
Yeah, of course, Eros being the god of love and protection. Yeah. Okay. Which
Not
is
many people protected in London.
yeah, well, maybe he needs to be
Well,
paid a
the
bit more money.
rich and yeah, I suppose the rich are okay, not the poor.
Not the poor. And then of course we've got the Gaia. Yeah. Okay. You know who Gaia is, yes?
No, no.
Oh, she is the goddess of the earth. She's the mother earth. She's the mother of all the
Is it
primeval.
who made up that name? I thought it's New Ages. I really don't care for it somehow.
Well, no, it's Greek. It's ancient Greece. She's Gaia. Yeah, she's the goddess of the earth. She's mother of all. She's the primeval mother.
Does that even exist?
Well, according to the Greek mythology, yes. You know, she symbolizes the material side of the universe. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So,
So
however,
hang on a sec. All these New Agers that keep banging on about Gaia, why don't they bang on about Zeus? And I mean, you know, it's like why leave out if they're gonna worship the Greek pantheon? Why leave out the rest of them? Why cherry pick?
well, I mean, every ideology has to have an ethos, yeah, and I believe that Gaia is very much connected to the first wave feminism, yeah, okay. So instead of becoming the mother of the earth, she almost becomes promoted as like the mother of feminism, yeah, okay. So if you're going to have a feminist ideology, you're not going to start promoting Zeus, are you? Which is that
I
you know,
see.
which is the balance to that. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, they are cherry picking. I mean, if you're going to worship the Greek pantheon, you can't just, I'll have that one. That sounds like a strong feminist figure. I'll just pick that one. But I'm not actually into the Greeks at all. Can you actually be like that? It's like, stinks
Well,
a
all
tiny bit.
religions are like that, aren't they? You know, I mean, sort
Are
of like,
they?
yeah. I mean, if you follow the Christian religion, there are some church dedicated to Maria. There are some churches dedicated to Saint Francis of Assisi. Yeah, okay. There are some churches that are dedicated to a local martyr. So yeah, I mean, there all religions cherry pick. And essentially they cherry pick to the ethos of what the country is. I mean, a very extreme example, say, would be the god Mars, which is worshipped by the Romans, and of course, the Romans were a materialistic race who wanted to invade. So, what better to worship than the god Mars? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's the god of
So
war.
who's worshipping? Yes, who's worshipping Mars?
The
Who?
Romans. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, I
Well,
mean,
that's cool. I mean,
every culture cherry picks. There's no two ways around it. Yeah.
right to see. Hmm.
So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter who, what system you worship, there will be what they want you to think and how you want to think. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So, like, so
So who is Shiva in? Who is Shiva in the Greek pantheon?
Shiva, I've just mentioned him. Just a second. Shiva, I have to refer to me, is Deus. Yeah? Deus.
Right.
Yeah. Deus. He
I've
is.
heard of that.
Oh no, he's not Deus. One second. He's not Deus. That's Zeus. Sorry. That's Zeus. I don't think there is an equivalent to Shiva. I'm because maybe chaos is Shiva, because but chaos is the god of the universe. Yeah, where Shiva is everything. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's why they have a statue of him at CERN, because he represents everything. Yeah.
Right. I see.
No, it's like I said, it's not an easy, it's not an easy subject. I mean, some people say that Dionysus is